Welcome home, Raiders. It's been a while. I just want to give a shout out to Arthas, because Wrath of the Lich King is now 10 years old. Happy birthday, or something. As Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. Everybody, and welcome to the show. Yep. Hi. From the CTR command post. I got to remember this stuff. It's a good thing I wrote it down. From the CTR command post in Sacramento, California. Today is November 13th, 2018, and it's now 7:07 in the PM Pacific time. Still strange. Thanks for joining us from around the world of Warcraft and beyond. My name is Pat Krane. I'm your host. And with us, the players are, of course, here from, let's start from Lagging Balls. It's Sicky McSickerson. It's Thyst. Hello, Thyst.
Hey, Pat.
Hi. How are you?
How come, you just assume that I'm a playa? Like we're all playas?
Yeah, you're a playa. I know you.
Do you have any proof?
I know you. That's,
okay.
I know you. You gave me a necklace saying that we're besties. It's totally cool.
Did I? What kind of necklace, Pat?
We'll talk about that in a second. And also, Shark. Hi, Shark. It's Shark. It's Shark Week.
Shark.
It's Shark Week here on the show. Welcome,
which only
Shark.
happens like once every other month, apparently.
Yeah, but you're here.
A while. I'm here. I'm back.
It's Shark Week.
I'm not rehearsing any plays. You guys were the ones that left. I was at home the whole time, waiting for a show. I'm like, are we doing a show this week? And that's like, it's BlizzCon. I'm like, Blizz what? Let's do a show.
It's
Come
tough.
on.
It's tough.
Blizz what?
I'm not busy. I was busy though. I was playing a lot of Classic, and
that's good. So you played some Classic. This is basically a BlizzCon recap show, and we'll talk about some other stuff as well. But how was so Shark? What I'm really actually kind of interested in is how was the at-home experience?
Sad. But only in the case. I've gone to BlizzCon the last 5 years, and I was there this year, and that's emotional blah. But happy because I saved a lot of money.
Sure.
And we still had a really good time. We put the virtual ticket up on the TV. I invited some of the local Blizzard fans over that I know, some on the raid team, and we had a little thing. Had some alcoholic beverages, and then tried to podcast later in the day after consuming said alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
You can check that out on the merely a Setback.
Yes.
It was reminiscent of old episode 200, Pat. It was pretty.
God. Oh God. And by the way, if you guys ever look for Convert to Raid episode number 200, you will not find it on the feed because it's so nasty.
Nasty?
It's nasty.
Is there a video feed though?
No, there's no video of it. Thank God, because that would be horrible.
All you would see is Tatva sitting on everybody's lap.
Yeah, he was like a little monkey. He was just jumping from lap to lap.
We had loads of fun though. But yeah, so BlizzCon wasn't. It is definitely just. I wouldn't say it's not the same experience, but it was a fine experience at home, especially if you've got some friends that you can hang out with. Even on Discord or something while you're watching the opening ceremonies or things like that. It's a lot of fun. Right. We had a good time.
Right. And Thyst, I just wanna have you talk about maybe caution people about some of the dangers of BlizzCon.
Yes. I'm here representing all of my con crud buddies. I've had this once before, but it wasn't nearly as bad, and it didn't last nearly as long. I literally started getting it the day after BlizzCon, and now it's been over a week, and it just keeps getting weirder and worse. And it's quite something, Patrick. I don't recommend, but
no, there was one year that I got it after BlizzCon as well, and that was horrible, and it lasted for I think probably about 10 days to 2 weeks. It was not great. And then there was one year where I was patient 0. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That really put BlizzCon.
You had it's like the day BlizzCon started, you started getting sick, right?
Right. And then like last year, I thought I was getting sick, and I freaked out, and I just started sucking on
Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers the entire time because I was like
every single one you could find,
because I needed to do that panel, and I was like going, I can't lose my voice, I can't get sick. I'm just trying to like. Ugh.
I've never seen a man obsess over a bag of Jolly Ranchers before.
It was adorable. He was so nervous every time you see him. He just like sat up in the media suite, just like, okay, fine, we're good.
I was so amped, and I was like going over questions in my head, blah blah blah. And then we got on the stage, and I threw out all of that stuff, and I just kind of I winged it the whole time. I was like, Scott Johnson, he's got all the questions. He knows what's going on.
Yeah,
maybe he could have. I wish I would have helped out a little bit more. Maybe ask some technical questions or whatever.
You're just the eye candy, Pat. We all know it.
Instead, I was just Jokey McJokerson up there and trying to make people laugh. So
you succeeded.
That's what I do. So it was kind of cool. So let's talk a little bit about BlizzCon in general and some of the announcements and all that kind of stuff. We'll just kind of dive right in. This comes from from Blizzard itself. They put out a bunch of press releases about BlizzCon and this one reads, at BlizzCon 2018, more than 40,000 gamers, which I don't know. I heard 35 at one point.
I heard 35,000, yeah.
I know it was 30 the year before, but this year they had a chance to sell more tickets because now all of the areas are opened up, whatever. It's still a lot of people. Not gonna lie. That's
lots of germy people coughing on you and touching you and wiping their faces on your face.
Why were they wiping their faces on your face?
Just being friendly, probably. I don't know the customs of everyone. Who am I to say what's wrong?
There were some Inuits there, and they were doing the Eskimo kiss thing, and
that they do that. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah,
assuming that it's normal. Just assuming that it's normal. Yeah,
right.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. And so it was not just all of the announcements, which we'll get into in a second, but it was also eSports, which were phenomenal. Thyst, I know
that's all I did this year. Yeah.
Was that it?
Pretty much. Like I caught some of the most important to me panels, but it was mostly just esports and like esports on top of esports. Like I'd have to get up in the middle of tournaments to go like find another esport because I'm afraid I'm going to miss it.
Right.
It was actually pretty cool. And I ran into Mr. Hazakostas on the last night, and I told him that, and he said that's literally like probably the best way to spend your BlizzCon is by watching esports, because you can watch all of the panels at home. And I know that like some panels mean more to other people for various reasons and whatever, and I'm not saying that you should skip them, but there's something about watching live esports that you absolutely cannot get from watching the virtual ticket, So like, I don't know, just being present for a lot of really great moments in esports history this year, it feels great, and I definitely don't regret spending all my time watching esports.
Right. Well, and just speaking about esports real quick, it was pretty cool. And I know that you were interested in the MDI, the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, the Arena World Championships for WoW, and then Overwatch World Cup were your big three, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And in those, we actually saw South Korea just dominate in Overwatch World Cup once again, and in that final match just blew away China, which was pretty. That was definitive.
Yes, very much so.
It was just like,
Good
nope, you're
night,
done.
China.
Sorry, we win. And then also we got to see Free Marcy win the Mythic Dungeon Invitational,
They
which
did
was
indeed.
so they kind of repeated past performances, which was good. Although they didn't really win the same thing as they won before because this was like a show match, right?
Yeah, this was new. This was just a All-Stars type of deal.
Right. But that was fun, and it wasn't the team that you were rooting for.
No, Exiles Angels did not win, but it was amazing to see them nonetheless.
Yes. And then what was the other one? AWC. We got to watch Method Orange and Sea-Doo win, which was really, really cool.
That was a sweet moment.
Yeah.
I think out of everything, like just being present for that was incredible. That was something that I'll never forget. And just the WoW stage was completely filled up. It was completely packed and people were going crazy. And it was just a really emotional moment. And like, even if you don't really like Method Orange or Sea-Doo or whatever, like you have to admit that was just like a very special moment for WoW esports. So
well, and it was really crazy too, because this is the first time that we've seen North America versus North America in a finals for AWC. So that was pretty awesome as well. And then, if you like, all of these firsts that are happening, we actually had the first non-Korean winner for StarCraft. With Cyril, and he's from Finland, and he was just dominating all year, and he dominated again, and that wasn't like a big surprise. No, it was like, nope, he wins. I think he just gets in the seat and they just go, yeah, you're winning.
Yep, you've already won. Get off the stage.
Won just by showing up. Now, Shark, did you watch any of the esports?
I watched a little bit of the Hear the Storm, but it ended up just being Genji dominating everybody, or Genji. I don't know what they but I feel like it's Genji because it's after the character, right? It'd be Genji.
One would think, but it's actually Genji. And
no, they say Genji, and it's always confusing to me. But anyway, there were some close matches that I was able to see. I can't remember any of them off the top of my head right now in particular, but most of them were just wiping the floor with the other team. Right. So it's that was kind of disappointing, but at the same time, when you're just dominant, you're dominant. Right. And fans of Genji are really happy, and they won last year too, if I could recall.
I think so.
So it's just it's a challenge at this point. Like, somebody be better than them.
Right. Right.
Do it.
And then
people have taken games off of them before. It's just this year at BlizzCon, it was just.
They are very, very strong, and they've shown that every time that they're on a world stage anywhere, and so it's like when they're there, people just go, Genji is probably going to win. You're not going to catch them off guard. That's the thing. Games like MOBAs are won and lost on misplays a lot of the time. And the more professional you get, you're a professional team, you're not going to make that many misplays, but it's all about taking advantage of those misplays. Genji just doesn't just doesn't make misplays. They don't make mistakes. It's fine.
They so rarely make anything even close to a mistake. You just have to outplay them. And it's tough. They're a great team. And there were some really, really good matches. And it was even the ones that were blowaways. It was fun to just watch them run away with it sometimes. So I enjoyed it.
And I know that I was talking with people about Hearthstone because it was the Hearthstone Global Games, which is different from like the regular part of the year for Hearthstone. And they said, and people were like, it's kind of weird. Like, Hearthstone Global Games is kind of like this offshoot where you have four guys, where like a team of four, and you have one guy that pilots the deck, even though the rest of the guys are like, no, that's the play.
Pilots the what?
Never mind. He plays the different cards anyway, and it's just kind of this weird thing that has a little hitch in it, but people don't really. I don't think people really are super excited about it. I may be wrong on that, and if you're super excited about Hearthstone Global Games, let me know. But I just think it's it needs some switching up. So that's
a bold statement, Patrick.
Right. And of course, this year was the second year in a row that I did not make it to the Hearthstone stage because I was busy doing other stuff. So
yeah,
I didn't watch it myself, so I'm only basing this off of what I've heard from other people. So
it's a weird, different setup that you have there. I know that when I was teaching at App State, they had a Hearthstone team, and they worked sort of in a similar way, where it was a team. It wasn't just an individual that was playing the game. So that was, it's interesting, but
it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but it's I think for a college thing, it actually makes sense. But for global games, it's kind of I don't know, just kind of weird. Anyway.
We shall see if it continues or not, or if they switch things up, or maybe even try another format.
Sure. I would welcome anything. Of that. So it's all good as long as we're having fun playing these games. That's the important thing.
That's right. Fun is the important part.
Yeah.
Fun. Money.
And money. Fun and money.
Fun and money.
Or just money. Just money.
Okay, well then let's get into the announcements that they made.
Speaking of money. Ooh, too soon?
It might be. Because we're going to talk about the most controversial announcement of the whole thing. So we're going through kind of backwards a little bit on the initial keynote stuff, where we had J. Allen Brack. Well, we had Mike Morhaime come out. Then we had
and make us all cry.
And then
what?
Talking about his dad. Oh my god!
His parents watching, and he's so sweet. And I don't want him to go anywhere.
So great. And then J. Allen Brack comes out and does this weird card stunt.
That didn't work.
That didn't work at all. By the way,
I don't know if it worked for you guys, but it didn't work for us at home.
No, I was one of the ones holding a card. Right. So, like they have a little eye cut out and they tell you what to do and blah, blah, blah. But they didn't have a good camera angle on it for the folks at home. And none of us knew what was going on. I think part of what it was that Mike Morhaime is not a very touchy-feely guy. He's not really he's not a big hugger.
Well, it was supposed to be a surprise too, is what I heard.
Yeah, so
they didn't know about any of that.
So J. Allen Brack was trying to lead him back to the stage, back to the center of the stage, so that he could say a thing. But unfortunately,
he's just like, get off me,
because he's got the little clear speech mirror things that are telling him what to say.
Yeah.
Thank you, teleprompter. That's the one.
Little clear speech.
Yeah, the things that with the
waving my hands around.
Right. The teleprompters, and he was supposed to go back there and say a thing, but Mike wouldn't move, and so. Right. But apparently the cards just said or read, "Thank you, Mike." That was
something like that. Yeah,
that was it. And so apparently. And
I don't even know if he could have read it. It was just the lights hit it in such a weird way. At least from the cameras, we couldn't see it.
No, I don't
know if you can
Can we just?
I don't think that was a thing.
Take a moment to appreciate the hustle and bravado that Jeff Kaplan brought to the table when they told him, Jeff, we need you. There's a problem on the Hearthstone stage. You're the only one who could save this. You got to go on. And Jeff's like, you know what? I'm ready. I've been ready since last week. And he like jogged out on stage and he's like, what the F is up, BlizzCon?
Right.
And he's,
and he took control. And he
really did.
He was the superstar of the keynote stuff.
He was the hero we all needed in that moment.
Right.
Papa Jeff.
Right. Let's talk about the other thing, the not a hero thing really quick with Diablo, because the Diablo announcement. Now, we had talked about this on the show. We had said that we need to, our expectations need to be measured a little bit more. They came out with a post that said, hey, basically, there's not going to be Diablo 4. I joked about it saying, of course there's going to be Diablo 4. What kind of weirdo would not expect Diablo 4? And I was right, because most people expected Diablo 4.
even, and I would say, especially after the post.
Right.
Because I think people were like, the first thing that would pop in there, they're trolling. They're trolling so hard. It's going to be Diablo 4.
Right.
We should have done that, but that's what a lot of people did.
Yeah. And But we got Diablo Immortal, which is a mobile game, and it's coming from NetEase, which is not really known for great games, I guess. So
I don't see what the problem is. Am I missing something? Like more Blizzard stuff that's like easily accessible? Like I'm literally holding my phone 24/7.
Right.
Like and just imagine like the logistics of that even. Actually don't imagine that. That's fine.
What?
But more Blizzard stuff in my hands, more Blizzard stuff to like occupy my time away from the computer.
Right.
And this seems like a good thing to me. So I just
it does when you're not in a 5-year drought, though.
Yeah,
I know, but
we haven't. Yeah,
it's not like they were like, "Hey, instead of all the stuff you want, here's this." It's like, hey, we've got this for you. We're not ready with the other stuff yet, but here's something.
Let me add to that, and I don't disagree with you. I think that's what they attempted to say, but it's not what they said.
Right.
Because what they said was, all right, here's the big, and they even put some posts out there like, put your eyes on BlizzCon. We got some big new news. And then followed it up with, we've heard a lot of rumors. Don't let your minds wander too far. But yeah, it seemed as though this was the big new news. Diablo is moving to mobile. And then with the Q&A, when they said this particular game was only going to be on mobile, it seemed that Diablo was moving to mobile exclusively. Now, I understand that that's absolutely not the case. And even in the moment, I was thinking I'm sure that they're working on something else. Most everybody was knowing without knowing, but they didn't announce it.
Right.
They didn't tease it. They didn't do anything, which I really don't understand why that particular choice was made, because we all know that they are working on something.
Sure. Well,
after BlizzCon, they basically said, yeah, we've got a lot more. Something else is coming.
They've got multiple projects in the works. This is what they've said about Diablo for a while as the lead up to BlizzCon was happening. And I think you're absolutely right. It was all about perception, right? It's like, hey, we're giving you this mobile game, and this will. What they should have said was, this will tide you over until something else comes along, and then show a flash frame of just 4, right? Just like a flash frame of 4, no explanation, no whatever. The crowd would have gone, oh my God, they're working on it, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. So I think that was the disconnect.
And I'm still confused as to why that's not happening, because we know now that they're not ready to announce anything, obviously, but they should be ready to tease something. And part of me feels like maybe it's a little bit of Blizzard being more cautious, as they were in the past. I mean, look at what happened with Titan. Look at what happened with StarCraft Ghost. Now, those were years in the past. Titan wasn't that long ago. But at the same time, they don't want something like that to happen again. So what scares me is Diablo 4 like, since they're not ready to announce it, does it mean there's a chance they're going to scrap it? Like,
there's always a chance for that. I mean, you know how it goes. I mean, they were working on the Titan project for what was it, a couple of years?
Yeah.
And then scrap that. I mean,
well, and to be fair, they didn't really. Well, they scrapped it, but they didn't kill it.
They recycled it.
Yeah, it turned into Overwatch, which is awesome.
Right.
So yeah, and I'm sure if something like that was to happen to Diablo as well. But yeah, I think Thyst is 100% valid, and I think the reaction was a little overdone, but I think it stung really bad for too many people.
Yep.
And then with the Q&A, what's next panel right after the opening ceremony, it's just several. I don't want to call them rookie mistakes, because Blizzard's better than that. Just misplays.
They just couldn't.
Had some misplays.
They just couldn't read the room on that one. And that one was a tough read, and they were hoping for a better response, and the initial response was bad. However, I will say that the people that were at BlizzCon that tried it, that actually tried the game, they played through it and they went, "This is actually playing pretty well." Maybe it's
fine.
Maybe it's not maybe it's not my jam. Maybe it's not quite the best thing out there. Maybe there are a couple of little things, quirky things that I don't really like about it. But overall, it was playing really well, and people's response that I heard from at the show were mostly positive.
Yeah, it's not the game's fault for everybody's disappointment, like it's still good. Don't let all of this taint it for you. Like,
right.
Play Blizzard games outside. This is what we've always wanted.
And you get new story, and you get a bunch of new stuff going on. So new content just in general, and you can take it with you. So while they work on Diablo 4 or whatever the next thing is, apparently, and this comes from like there was also an Activision earnings call for Q3 is what they call it. But they've said that there's more projects in development right now than there's ever been at Blizzard. They are working. I mean, if you kind of read between the lines and read some other reports, yes, they are working on Diablo 4, even though they won't admit it. They've even
or whatever that title is going to be called. I feel like they're not. One of the reasons they might not be releasing it is because they don't want to call it Diablo 4.
Right. Well,
because it's going to be something else.
But it would
Diablo more.
Diablo more. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it's going to be a fighting game. Diablo Legends.
Sure. Whatever it is.
I saw that the other night.
A Diablo PC game. Yeah. What?
I was having a fever dream, as I often do these days. I'm like, what if Blizzard was like working on like a Mario Kart style game, whereas just like Blizzard racing, and then like each of like the maps and stuff were from a Blizzard game, and then like the mounts were like ones that you'd find in Blizzard games, so they'd be like a payload or like just Tracer running.
So basically it's like Heroes of the Storm except as a racer.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
And then after that, they need to come out with Super Smash Blizzard.
Yes,
Super Smash Blizzard.
Super Smash Blizzard.
By the way, I heard just recently that was in the works, but I might have heard it just like 2 seconds ago when you said that.
Right.
So I'm not really sure. But the other thing to note off of the Activision call that I just mentioned was that you can expect more mobile games.
And we should expect that already.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all that Blizzard put out a mobile game for Diablo. That's exactly what they should be doing. Diablo has not been making money. Mobile games make money, and that makes sense.
Right.
Like I said, the biggest issue I have is how you present that to your fan base. The way in which they presented it, and then expecting the fan base to respond positively, it does not connect in my head somehow. Like, I don't know why that was. Look at what Bethesda did with Elder Scrolls. You had a huge reaction. They released a new game with Fallout 76, and there was a sort of mixed reaction to that, but everybody's really excited about a new game. But then the Elder Scrolls community, well, here's a mobile game. And they talked all about the new mobile game. People were like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Whatever. We weren't really expecting anything anyway, but cool. And then at the end, they said, oh, by the way, we're working on a little something else. And just like I said, flashed a screenshot of Elder Scrolls 6, and people lost their
right.
Just a little bit. Here's a mobile game for you to play while we finish working on the game.
That would have been the way to do it.
And the game that you want. We're just, I still, maybe we'll learn when they actually announce it why they didn't announce it. But I felt like that's when they should have done it. And there's an article, actually. Kotaku, yeah, I know. Jason Schreier of Kotaku did a little bit of investigative journalism.
He talked to two people.
Yeah, two people. Apparently, rumor has it that, and he actually edited this article after he originally posted it. The originally post said that Blizzard was planning on announcing Diablo 4 and cut it.
No.
Then he edited it and said, okay, after speaking with someone else, my sources now say that it was a discussion that was had. And I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I got it debunked, like almost immediately. I was still in Irvine. I was like, is this real? And then the person I'm talking to was like, no. It's not Kotaku. No.
Right. It was wrong. However, apparently they made a video to release at some point, or at least they started filming something. And who knows if it's actually going to, see the light of day or whatever. But
yeah, the only real information we have is that they're obviously working on a computer game that codenamed Diablo 4. They were discussing releasing it at BlizzCon. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen, and they were working on a trailer for it. which if they were discussing releasing it at BlizzCon, obviously. So yeah, and I think it was good to have that kind of press though a little bit, or for Blizzard just to say, like in their quarterly, we are working on more things. I just think it would have been a little bit better if you could have been a little more specific. Not tell us details, but the more things we're working on is a new PC game for Diablo that you guys are going to love.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
But either way,
include us. You say you.
Yeah.
One of the comments that I heard was, you say "welcome home" in your BlizzCon keynote, and then you don't tell us jack. What's going on? Come on.
I don't know. I don't walk in the door of my mom's house and she gives me the lowdown on what's going on. Parents don't need to do that. New Daddy Jab doesn't have to tell us anything.
New Daddy Jab.
Yeah. President Dad. He doesn't have to tell us anything.
President Dad. That's the one. All right. Well, let's stop talking about Diablo and let's talk about the biggest, what I think is the biggest and the best kind of surprise announcement at BlizzCon, which was about Warcraft 3.
A clever strategy.
Oh, whoops, the sound was down a little bit.
A clever strategy.
There we go. That's much better. So Warcraft 3 Reforged is the new hotness that replaces the old hotness of Warcraft 3, just a regular, right? Totally remastered, all new graphics, all new animations.
The new improved.
Bunch of single player missions, new interface, all the stuff.
Cash in on our nostalgia hungry butts. Blizz, do it. It's okay. We want it. We like it.
I'm kind of surprised that wasn't out for mobile.
Right? Just put it on everything.
I can make it work, and I wouldn't be surprised if it will be out for mobile. Right. How many postings have we seen on their job site where always like they're working on something Warcraft mobile, and it could be the Warcraft mobile app, which they're still developing and still coming out. I still want my social tab.
I still want the fishing
the
app.
Auction house, the fishing. Yeah,
I want the fishing app where you actually throw your phone.
I want
my Pendokemon app so I can do my pet battles.
Oh sure.
But anyway, I could.
That would be the only way that I would do pet battles. By the way, because I in game I'm like, no, I've got better things to do. I've got other things that I want to do.
It would be so good.
That's me. That's the way I play. I'm not saying that's the way everybody should play. That's the way I
remember being briefly disappointed when they announced Hearthstone because they were teasing a mobile something that was going to be announced because I thought it was going to be mobile pet battles and it was Hearthstone. I was like, oh, it's a stupid card game, and then it ended up being one of my favorite games of all time. So
right.
Okay. I still want my mobile pet battles.
Yeah, I know. And I want my mobile fishing game because I think that's the only way that I would do either of those things.
I know.
So that would be good. But this is actually pretty cool. So what I heard was that Warcraft 3 was actually started because of all the stuff that's happening with Classic. Because they were like, oh, the code kind of overlaps or whatever, and we're finding out all these different things. So now we can do Warcraft 3. What do you think? Should we do it? And they're like, why is this a question?
Why not?
Right.
Everybody loves WoW 3.
And now apparently they have their own Classic team.
Right.
Like Blizzard Classic it's always been like a separate spot on that, but I didn't feel like they would maybe have like a customer service team. But as far as development goes,
no, it's totally different. So
they're putting work to it.
Yeah.
Which means we're going to get more.
And so
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I was actually able to talk to some of the Warcraft team, but I asked one question about, Classic, and they're like, we can't. That's not our deal.
That's not our department.
That's not what we do anymore.
That's Blizzard Classic.
We're not. You got to ask the Classic team. I'm like,
I love how they can't tell us anything new about something we've already done. That's so weird.
I like it. And then for Classic, we found out that it's coming this summer.
Woo!
So that is, I should actually, I should have been ready with that, with the big applause. So, yay! Now you too can struggle through the barrens, just running wildly and, making jokes about Swolinka.
No.
Yeah, Swolinka is the new.
He's the new Chuck Norris. By the way,
is he?
I had he actually bought me a beer at the Marriott one night, and I gave him a hug first of all, and that dude is cut now. I mean, everybody knows he went from dad bod to like hard bod like in a year, and it's like hugging a hardened piece piece of wood. I don't know.
Oh boy.
That's not
And
right.
that's when we lost it.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that Thyst is sick, because now she'll start coughing and then she won't be able to say anything else. But it's like something. I don't know. It was just really impressive, and so I went, whoa! Now we actually do need to make the meme thing happen for Baron's chat. I think that would be great.
I was disappointed though in Baron's chat because I told every Chuck Norris joke I knew and got no response.
What?
Huh.
That's not cool.
And I don't know if it was just because like I was on the at-home servers and people were like not dealing with that. But
well, I mean, were the questions about Mankirk's wife still happening, or
I did ask about Mankirk's wife. What else did we? I asked something on Alliance side too. I can't remember because I didn't play Alliance in vanilla, so
right.
I don't remember what the chat was all about over there. I think it was just how to get to Dead Mines.
God,
I still want to know how to get to Dead Mines.
You got to go all the way to the
All the way to the
shoreline and then double back, and it's dumb.
Yeah, go up a hill or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyway,
It's a myth. It's not even there.
But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it when it comes out. I played the demo.
Yeah.
It was a nice little refresher of what things used to be like, and I'm like, yeah, but I didn't want to spend too much time on it because, like, I wanted to play it, and then I remembered that I had to stop at level 20, and I'm like, that's going to make me angry. I'm just going to stop now.
Well, level 20 doesn't really do much for you in classics, so it's not like you get, a mount or
It's
anything
not a
like
very
that.
good demo. I think it's a good demo for like, hey, are all the gears going to turn? Is this going to work?
That's right.
That's good. And just to sort of alleviate players, like, yes, it does look like it used to look. Yes, everything is the same way it was. No, you don't get them out at level 20.
Right.
But yeah, it was nice to see that. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Give me a beta.
Yeah.
And then give me the game. And I want to level up.
I hope it makes people appreciate what we have now. Because it really was a very difficult game back in the day. And like, I know a lot of people get burned out with WoW because there's hardly any instant gratification. Like if you want something in WoW, you have to work for it. And that was the case more than ever back in the day. If you wanted anything, any type of progress, any type of validation, any type of I don't know, just like carrot at the end of the stick, literally, you would have to work for it, And
yeah.
I don't know, I guess people like that, and I totally understand that, but like, WoW has never been an easy game, but it's a little more convenient these days, and I like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
don't think I wouldn't say more difficult than that it's more difficult than back in the day, but it was definitely more grindy. It was more difficult to be able to put the time into what you were doing.
more
Yes.
laborious.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily more complex or, so I just don't want people like that are used to this game and have never played vanilla be like, I don't want it. It's going to be too hard. It's not technically difficult. It's mentally difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like I was a kid 15 years ago, and I was the first day I ever played WoW. I played for 12 hours straight, and beside me I had a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper and a box, of those like small Halloween candies because I got it for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was just pounding the sugar. I can't do that anymore. I would die, like literally. But like that kept me going, and I played for 12 hours, and I was stuck in Brambleblade Ravine for 12 hours.
Yeah.
But it was just so magical back then, and it still is, but like I'd never seen anything or experienced anything like that before. And so, it's I don't know, it was just so cool back in the day because it was so new and unprecedented, and it's so cool these days because it keeps evolving and improving on itself. And I'm interested to see how that sort of the way it was special back then, if it's going to make it special now. I don't know.
Well, and the cool thing is, so you get to see everything before Cataclysm, before the Cataclysm hit, and so you have to remember all of the old maps, and because they don't show you what's actually going on the maps. no quest
There are no
markers.
quest markers.
So
Yeah.
you're just kind of
You gotta look
struggling
up
through. And you,
Get on Thoughtbot or Alakazam.
Alakazam. They need to.
Alakazam.
They need
Thank
to-
you, Alakazam, for telling me what I needed to know, which was everything.
Right. Right. And now it's going to be Wowhead or something like that. But I want them to actually, instead of doing Wowhead Classic or something like that, I actually want them to do Alakazam on
That would
Wowhead.
be cool if Alakazam.
Like, well, I think WoW actually bought Alakazam.
Oh,
so-
really?
I think so.
Or
I
something.
think you're right.
Somebody, yeah. And so, yeah, they should just reopen, rather than linking the Alakazam now to Wowhead,
Yeah.
they should just reopen the old domain and make it for Classic.
I would love that.
Right?
Right.
It'd be great.
That would be great. And by the way, if you're playing Classic, if you plan on playing Classic, Arthas, who just turned 10, actually Lich King just turned 10, he has a message for you.
Torment awaits.
There you go. So Torment
Oh,
awaits.
man. Hate when that happens.
Just a little note for you
Not
guys.
torment. Why can't candy await? Why can't good times await, Pat?
Because it's Classic. Right.
It's
Right.
It'll be Torment.
It'll be a little bit of torment along with
I'll be
your
loving
fun. Right. So then that leaves us with all of the other games, but let's talk about Warcraft just in general, since this is mainly a Warcraft show. So we should
You admitted it.
We should probably talk about that. I've been doing that through my actions, when we have an hour show and we do 45 minutes on Warcraft.
It never happens.
It
Don't
always
acknowledge it,
happens.
Pat.
Well, we never limit it to an hour. That's the problem. So we have a bunch of things to talk about with Warcraft. First of all, the two cinematics that were there. The Lost Honor one, which was pretty good.
Everything I ever wanted.
Me too.
Everything you ever... Well, and then Terror of Darkshore was actually the one that I wanted. That was...
Right.
Cool.
That was good. I like that one. Shark, I want to talk to you first about the Lost Honor one.
Yeah.
And I know that you do a show called Merely a Setback, and where you talk about the story of WoW and other things. What did you have to say about this?
I loved it. I called it. Let's do it. I went absolutely insane on Merely a Setback with all of our stupid, crazy predictions. And I'm still like combining the announcement or combining the I don't want to talk about that. It might be too spoilery. Anyway, I'm really excited that the Horde and the Alliance are going to be working together. I knew it was going to happen eventually, but that's what's happening.
But it's kind of maybe.
Really?
I think so. I think so 100%.
No.
And the reason I say that is because they've already stated in the Q&A, and I'm jumping a little bit here.
Yeah.
But surprise, surprise, Chris Metzen was at BlizzCon again.
Right.
He's there every year.
public return.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the year he retired. I know he was there last year. I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was here this year.
This year he went sans hoodie, so he wasn't
he
even
went sans
even
hoodie.
cloaked.
Walked up and asked a question during the Q&A, and his first question was, Horde, where you at? Or whatever.
I stood on my chair. I was freaking out. That was like the coolest moment of BlizzCon.
It was
ever.
really great. Well, and him and Mike both being there, like I was part of me was surprised that Mike Morheim did the announcements again, because I thought that he might pull a Metzen and just be like, I can't make it. It'd be too emotional, but it was really nice. Anyway, sidetrack.
Yep.
Back on target.
That's all right.
He says, when's the real war chief coming back? Was
Right.
Paraphrase his question. And they said, we'll see. There might be a job posting soon. We'll let you know. So I feel like that's basically saying Sylvanas isn't going to be war chief for a long
I
time.
think that's basically a
Our thing will
troll from
obviously
Jab. I think that was kind of trolly. It was.
We'll see.
It was kind of
see.
jokey. The whole thing was kind of fun to think about, and
No, Pat.
you're not going to tell Metzen. You're not going to tell Metzen go screw. We're not going to have Thrall back. You're not going to tell him that.
It's
In front of a
course,
crowd?
and it's not going to be Thrall. It's going to be Sourfang.
No,
and he's gonna
Thrall's
be
coming
bringing
back.
him into it.
Well, that's what Metzen wanted. Metzen wanted Thrall to come back.
Thrall to come back. Well, I think Thrall's coming back, and then I think Jaina's going to kill him, but that's a different story.
No.
Wow.
Thrall's going to kill Jaina.
Wow.
Of course he wouldn't.
No.
He would never do that.
So one of the things that actually popped up from the Lost Honor cinematic, which I thought was pretty great, is that throughout the expansion or moving forward into the expansion, we're going to have more of a divide between Saurfang and Sylvanas, and players are going to be able to, Horde players are going to be able to choose more about who they want to help, if anybody. And so that's kind of interesting to me. But
my prediction is that's going to come to the Alliance as well, by the way. Maybe. And I think the Alliance might see a similar choice that they have to make between Anduin and Jaina.
Oh.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how well it's received by the Horde. I think. And
even if not, I think it's awesome that this is happening. But
so immersive.
Thyst, what are your thoughts as a Horde player, as kind of the sole Horde player here?
I like it. I know that a lot of my Horde brothers and sisters are very divided on their loyalties right now. I certainly am. It's hard, as an honorable Horde, to not want to necessarily follow our war chief. I did, and I slaughtered so many at Darkshore, and it was great. But she's got very little honor, and that's what Horde people sort of hold dear above everything else. And Saurfang embodies that notion, and that's very important to us as well. And so, if Saurfang was going to go off and try to figure this out, I would have been all for it. And I'm glad that he's out of his cell and that he can go and try to do something about this. And I'm looking forward to, just this whole thing coming to a head, or I don't know. I'm looking forward to Thrall coming back because he obviously is. And
I don't know. Come on. Well, he might be. He might be. He might be.
You do understand that Saurfang is a contracted mercenary for the Alliance now, right?
No, he's not.
No, that's 100% of what he is.
No. Well, he's not contracted. He's not contracted.
He's an Anduin to take down the war chief.
No,
Saurfang is Alliance. He's on our team now.
Yes, he's not really contracted, but he is released on his own recognizance to start trouble, which Anduin definitely wants, right? I mean, he would rather that the Horde fight with themselves and then the Alliance could just live in peace, right? Because he is about peace, and he was talking about how it's just fighting and right now, and he doesn't like that either. So throwing a little Discord and not the app into the Horde would be not so bad for him. So,
and I'm trolling a little bit. I want you guys to understand.
Of course you are.
I know that Saurfang is Horde forever, but he is undeniably working with the Alliance to take out the war chief. I just want everyone to be clear on that.
No, I don't think he's working with them.
No, he's gone back to the Horde to figure this out, to figure out the most honorable measures to take to right the wrongs and figure out these situations.
But he still hates the Alliance.
Yeah, we're still going to kill Anduin.
Right.
It's going to happen.
Right.
But we've got stuff to figure out first.
not if you're honorable, you wouldn't kill Anduin. He released your true war chief.
In battle, you would. In battle, you would.
In battle.
Sure.
Absolutely.
It was honorable battle.
Not for no reason. Did you guys see the thing on Reddit where somebody put that cinematic to that song Bump and Grind, but only the beginning part? It's like, my mind's telling me no. And it's just, and Starfang's got his arm over Anduin, and they're looking into each other's eyes.
Nice. I haven't. You should share the link.
Does Wrathion like slip in and get all shady and mean?
Wrathion
jealous?
Wrathion is shady. And that just only brings up, so this whole thing brings up my whole trader quest line that I really wanted. And I was talking about this at BlizzCon the entire time. I'm like going, no, they should have a trader quest and it'd be really long and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, yes, that's great. That's a really great idea. And they're like, I am not telling anybody else about this because it really is not that great of an idea. So I want it. It's not happening.
What's the trader quest line?
So I want it to be so that you can have one character on a server and you can go through this extremely long quest line and go to the other side. I think that would be really funny. Well, fun.
No, that's weird. I don't like that.
What? Sourfang's a traitor right now. We should just do it. We should just make it happen.
What?
I have a similar but a little bit different idea about how I do think that Warcraft is pivoting for cross-faction gameplay.
Oh, that would be so great.
I really, really think they're going to, and I think they should. And I think it should be worked into war mode.
This would you play with gnomes?
No.
Oh, come on,
you already
Diz.
have. You already have.
Let's go stab bad people together.
You have in every in-game raid that we've ever done. You played
true.
with the Alliance.
And in the new raid, you'll become a gnome or something, Alliance character for part of it.
I don't know exactly how they're doing that too. I didn't get it.
So with the new raid, it's the Battle for Dazar Allure.
Yeah.
You will do 3 fights through the eyes of the opposite faction because there's 9 bosses.
Right.
So 3 of those are going to be through the opposite faction, and then the rest of them are going to be through your own eyes. And I guess, I guess it's not going to be an actual thing where the last 3 are going to be through the other faction or whatever. They're pretty much aligned.
Right.
More or less the same. There's only like one boss that's
sort of mirror
out of
images.
order. Yeah. So
yeah, because I know that one is like I think it's the Alliance releases a giant like ape or something, a gorilla on the city, and then the Horde kills it and then raises it from the dead, and then they send it right back to the Alliance. So that's what it's like, something like that. That's going to be really, really cool. So it's the same encounter.
Yeah.
It's just happening at a different time. And the model is going to look a little bit different.
Is it a monkey ball monkey?
I don't.
It's a Donkey Kong monkey. It really is.
Yeah.
It really
Throw
is.
barrels at us?
Yeah, I think he throws barrels.
But yeah,
pretty sure.
Sounds very familiar.
Pretty sure, and we have to go up a scaffolding. It's weird. Yeah.
Oh, scaffolding.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight the scaffolding boss. that stuff's rickety, Pat.
Yeah, I know.
At best.
I know.
You don't play Wacky Shack.
Mm-mm.
I'm super excited about all the stuff that's coming out in the new patch, and
right, and then they also kind of released all of the stuff beyond 8.1. So then we can talk about Nazjatar and the Mechagon mega dungeon thing that's going to be happening.
Junker Gnomes.
Junker Gnomes and all that kind of stuff, and heroic war fronts, incursions, flying. All of this stuff is going to be, Ashara and the Rise of Ashara for 8.2.
And they said nothing official, but the Warcraft team is a lot better at teasing, apparently, than the Diablo team. But we definitely saw a little fishy at the end of their panel. It said "the end," and you had that little N'Zoth fish.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty sure nothing official, but we're going to be fighting.
Official?
Official. Yeah.
Official?
Official.
Fish as the end boss that turns into a giant old god?
Right. Something like
We'll
that.
see.
And now we know. And now we know what the show title is, I guess. Anything else as far as WoW goes that you know what we didn't really talk about? We didn't really talk about the Night Elf thing, which was the Terror of Darkshore. The short. So there's another one where it's like, okay, now we're seeing the Night Elves get mad. And we haven't seen this for a long time. So we haven't really seen this ever. But we heard tales about it, right?
Right, yeah.
You hear tales about it, and then it's like, nope, they're just fun-loving. They're just pretty sleepy. They go to hibernate in the Emerald Dream, and that's about it. Nope, now they're getting pissed. So look out. And I really did like the owls and just like all the visuals and stuff like that. And Malfurion going crazy.
Yeah, it took me a real minute to realize who that bear was.
Oh?
Cool though. Yeah, it took me a minute. I was like, who is that? Who's this? A druid? What druid would it be? Because I didn't think, because Malfurion's always like, Tyrande!
Yeah, he's always like that.
That's Malfurion's gig. He's like, my brother's so mean.
Tyrande!
Tyrande.
Mm-hmm.
But now, 4 words, man. Tell her we're coming. Ooh.
Oh.
It was pretty cool. And I'm still not a huge Malfurion fan, but that was really cool.
That was pretty cool.
was awesome. Whatever. You admit it was cool.
Listen, the whole thing was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was a great short, but I ain't scared.
You know, if you were that troll getting choked out up on that tree, I think you would have had a different perspective.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be because I would blink away because I'm a mage.
If Tyrande was staring you down with those dead black eyes, come on.
Whatever.
You'd run away.
I ain't afraid of no night elf.
You'd pee in your pants.
You should be.
Probably not. And if I did, I'm a frost mage now. So I can just, slush it away. It's fine.
All right. Clearly, the cold medicine is set in.
It's getting there. Flush it away.
Yeah, flush it away. It's fine.
Anything else from World of Warcraft that you guys wanted to talk about as far as it relates to BlizzCon? Or
I mean, yeah, but do you have 3 more hours?
I don't know. I mean,
not really.
we've got many more episodes following this where we're going to have kind of a lot of not a lot happening. But is there anything super key that you really wanted to hone in on for a few minutes?
We can pick it up then, I think.
Okay. All right.
There's so much more news to cover.
I know there really is. Let's just kind of blast through some of this stuff. We have God, I don't think we can really blast through some of this stuff. Let's go through quickly some of the stuff. StarCraft 2 has a new commander co-op for co-op mode with Zeratul, and let's see. Heroes of the Storm has a new hero, Orphea, which is the first ever Nexus-born hero, which is really, really cool.
She's so cute.
And the cinematic was great, and then they showed Janitor Leoric, and that was funny.
I can't wait for those skins. They're so cool.
That was a fan-made skin, too. That was based on a fan design.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And let's see what else. Hearthstone, we have Rastakon's Rumble, which is basically taking what's currently in WoW and putting it in Hearthstone, which I don't think is all that changey,
Changey?
Well, I mean, I like for Hearthstone to kind of change it up, kind of change their game every once in a while, and I'm just not really seeing it with this one. But it looks like it could be
Hearthstone,
fun.
Yeah, but they're always just sort of I feel like they make the cards, then they decide to design the theme.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's some new cards. Here's what we're doing. Now, what theme would go with this really, really well?
Right.
Okay, we can make it about, or even just, can we make it about trolls? Because we haven't done trolls. We're doing a troll raid in WoW right now. We can interrelate the game. I feel like that's probably a little bit of what was going on.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. But the single player game looks like it could be interesting. I don't know if they're... I always kind of like them to try to switch up the meta. I'm not sure if they're necessarily switching up the meta with this stuff. That's all.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know much about it or enough about it to really be able to tell. But as long as they are doing that and the gameplay is fun, the theme seems to not matter as much to me.
Right.
Some people it might.
And then comes kind of another thing that we saw with Overwatch, and that was the McCree short, which was super tropey. If you ever want to see all of the cowboy tropes ever, watch the McCree short, because that was incredibly, I know exactly what I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for the clock to strike noon. I'm waiting for, whatever to go by and
noon. I cannot do his voice at all.
No, neither can I.
I loved it. It was so good. It was so funny. It was cool to see how the train cars got all mangled at the beginning of Route 66.
Yep.
I love that. I know a lot of cinematics take place in maps that we've seen before and are familiar with, but that area, the starting area with the payload and everything, just actually being there, not really actually being there, but being there in the cinematic was so cool. And just all of the new characters we got introduced to, and I don't know, and just it was cool. I'm glad that it was McCree. Like, I was kind of hoping it would be Zenyatta so we could get some more Zenyatta lore, but like McCree's kind of a silly character anyway, and I think that's what we really needed to see in the opening ceremony at that moment. And of course, everybody fell in love with Bob, and I'm so glad that they put him in the game, even if he's just an alt and he's AI and you can't control him. Like, he's still there, and that's all that matters. And Ashe is pretty cool, you know, and Echo is pretty cool, but I don't know. We got Bob, so it's a good year, right?
I think so. I mean, so Ashe, the new character, is actually live today, right now. You can go into Overwatch and play her in No Limits. You can play her in arcade mode, and anytime that a new character is released, they always have it be a No Limits week, so you can make sure that everybody plays that character. If your entire team plays Ashe, you will not win. I'm just saying it right now. You can't win.
What if both teams entirely play Ashe?
Then everybody will be really pissed off.
Everybody loses.
She won't be available in competitive for another 2 weeks at least.
Right. So, but go play her in arcade mode. It's fun. It's fun. I think
she's going to be super high skill cap.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like, I'll try her. I don't think she's really the type of hero I gravitate towards, but oh my gosh, it is going to be so good to see the pros use her in the next season of Overwatch League. I can't wait for Pine to get his hands on her. Oh,
if you play a sniper, I mean, it's definitely really cool, and the shots are amazing, and that you can make, and especially with the TNT thing, where you just like toss it in there and then it explodes either on its own or with you shooting it, which I thought was a kind of a cool touch on that one.
Totally. And I can't wait to see like professional Bob like play the games, just like, you know, watching a professional unleash Bob,
right,
and then having nothing to do with it and seeing like what happens.
I actually got an email from Blizzard right before the show, you know, the little marketing thing. And it basically, I think it said, Krane, do something for the title.
That's a lie. Are you lying?
No. I just got an email.
That
what
really
did it
happened?
say? Yeah. No, I got an email.
Really?
Yeah. It was just talking about how, you know, that Overwatch now had Ashe in it. It wasn't like
It's ad email.
But my ID thing is Krane, whatever the numbers are, and so it said, Krane, do something. And so I always, the first time it happened where they used Krane as my name, I felt like I was being yelled at by a teacher.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what Krane, what are you doing? And this time I'm like,
did you do something?
I did. I played Ashe for about an hour.
It felt really bad.
I played Ashe for about an hour. So that's the way it goes. Okay. So now, as we have wrapped up kind of the announcements of all the different games, I want to talk to you just about BlizzCon in general. Are there particular panels that you think that those with the virtual ticket should go back and see if they haven't seen them yet, or I don't know, eSports?
If you want to feel really uncomfortable, go and watch the Diablo What's Next panel.
Oh God,
it was rough.
Yeah,
because they had a Q&A too, and it was rough. It was interesting, to say the least. It's the only time I've ever heard booze at BlizzCon.
Yeah, well, there was that, and then there was the whole Destiny 2 announcement that was right before the keynote. That was weird.
Which was my favorite announcement. I've been playing the hell out of that game.
And people, really I know people really love it, but it's just been underperforming. So they decided to give the base game for free, so that in hopes that people would, you know,
I think it's going to pay off for them. Honestly, because I started playing the game, I'm like, a free game? Okay, sure, I'll give it a shot. Well, I wanted to see what it's all about. I started playing, my friends were playing, it was free, this is fun. And then you get done with the base, like to get to level 20 is the base game. Mm-hmm. You do that in like 2 or 3 days. And now you're like, oh, I really want to play the rest of the game. Like, they were going to get 0 of my dollars, and now they're probably going to get 49 of my dollars for the expansion.
That's
so
cool.
I think it's going to work out. I think a lot of people are in that boat too.
Right.
So
right. Well,
anyway,
and we'll see. Hopefully that's the case, because I know that Destiny hasn't been really great for Activision. So which is weird. I think it was just how they launched it and not what it's become. So
I know it's not been. Yeah, it hasn't been. But from what I've heard from Destiny fans, the new expansion fixes a lot of the problems.
Right.
So
right.
Give the garbage away for free.
And also, well, no, it's not garbage, because they replaced they replaced Peter Dinklage, which was part of the problem.
Okay.
Unfortunately, was part of the problem. So they replaced his voice. Anyway, Thyst, were there panels that you saw that you think that people should go back and see, or anything like that?
Well, obviously the WoW Q&A, because of Chris Metzen popping up. That was just incredible. Like, I'm so glad that I was in the crowd to witness that. Like, that was...
And our friend Ro was the first question. And
exactly. So that was pretty cool.
We knew probably about 5 or 6 people in that lineup, I think.
Sure did. And I don't recommend trying to figure out where the closing ceremonies are, because that's what I did. I went and took myself over to the Mythic stage. You were with me.
Yep.
Pat,
I was there for part of it.
Minute, but you're like, no, I don't really want to watch the closing ceremonies. And I said, that's fine. I just need to see it to just sort of end my BlizzCon. Like, it's hard walking out the doors for the last time. And I just, I wanted Jab to come back out. I was hoping Mike might come back out. At that point, I knew Chris Metzen was around. I didn't know what to expect. I just wanted somebody to say, like, have a great year. Thanks for coming to BlizzCon, whatever. So I sat down by myself and I watched the virtual ticket people, tell me about their BlizzCon experience. That was nice. And that just kept going and going. And I was like, all right, cool. Jab's coming out any minute now. It's going to be fine. And then all of a sudden, I heard the sound of a train. Like, woo, 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 woo. And I was like, that's weird. And then they're like, okay, everybody here's Train. And then Train came out. And there was just Train just right in my face, because I was pretty close to the stage. And so I got up and I, started like stumbling out and like looking back, and like all of the screens had Train on it. And there was just Train in my ears, Train in my face, Train in my eyes, like just Train. And
maybe that's why you got sick. Too much Train in your face.
Maybe. And like, if you like Train and you were happy Train is at BlizzCon, that's awesome. That's so great.
And I heard they killed it.
Yeah, sure.
I heard they did.
I'm not a big fan of Train, but like, just to be debated like that by Blizz, like it was so weird. It was so weird.
So the executive producer of the show came out and said goodbye. And that's when I said goodbye to you, because I was like, that's going to be it. Because I saw the direct...
I just thought somebody would IRL come out.
Yeah, right. And well, I mean, the person was IRL, but they were over in whatever. They were in the Dark Moon Fair, and it was very different. It was very different. We didn't have a familiar face telling us, "We'll see you next year." We had somebody else.
Yeah, we tried something new.
Kind of weird, but
that seems like sort of the theme of BlizzCon 2018.
Was
kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
Kind of weird. It was still BlizzCon. It was still awesome from everybody I know that went, and even those that didn't get to go. But kind of weird.
Yeah, kind of weird.
It's different this year.
Yeah,
less fun, just a little bit different.
It was different. We hung out at the Marriott a lot more this year because we knew what was happening over at the other
you're
one.
Old, admit it, Pat.
I am old man Krane. I am fine with that. But everybody was hanging out there. I mean, I
would have been at the Marriott too.
I met so many people over there, and it was loud over the Marriott, but it was just people talking. So
right,
it's totally different. But I saw Lore and Mike B and Swolinka and Thyst. I saw you over there.
I was everywhere and nowhere.
All at once.
But mostly there. Yeah.
All at once. And Shark, I'm sorry that I didn't see you there. I missed you, buddy.
No.
It was.
I
I
know.
missed you too.
Yeah.
You can blame Blizzard for that, and
Right.
my former employers, and everyone but me. I'm a millennial.
Sure, of course. And it was nice. I saw Gizmo. He
Yeah.
actually stayed with me that first night, and I have a picture of him sleeping. It's very
Like a baby angel.
like a little angel, like the angel that he is. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. I hope that everybody
About
else.
the people, though.
And I hope that
Like, it's
everybody
about
else.
oh, sorry.
Well, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say BlizzCon's about the people, though. It's not.
Yeah.
The announcements are cool.
Yeah.
But I was there when they announced basically nothing, and I was there when they announced Overwatch. And both of those experiences were pretty much equally as awesome because of the people I was with. So
Right.
if this was your first BlizzCon, or you feel like, there weren't any really big announcements, I really wish I had gone another year, don't feel that way. It would have been the same amount of awesome. I promise you. But being someone that's been to multiple years and had different, levels of whatever big hypey announcements.
Yep.
It's just as hype when you're sitting at home watching it on the TV.
And by the way, I also want to give a big shout out to everybody in the CTR Guild who organized all those little mini meetups that we had throughout BlizzCon. That was pretty fun. I have we got together for a big group photo. And unfortunately, not everybody was there, but a lot of people were there. I think we had probably about 30, 40 people just at that one meetup. And I know that we had many people over at the dinners that we had, or at ticket gatherings, or all that different kind of stuff. So I want to thank everybody that put that together, thought about it, put it out in such a way that it made it really super fun and easy for people to come up and say hi to each other. That's kind of that's the magic of BlizzCon. Like you were saying, it's about the people, but about making new friends and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think if there was anything that really stood out for me. A couple of people that I met were really cool. The Convert to Classic guy, or not Convert, Countdown Classic guy. Josh, he was really great. From Australia. And Leviathan was really great as well. From he does a Diablo show. It's really great. And yeah, I don't know. It's just really cool.
Oh, making new friends.
And I'm kind of misty.
you.
I'm a little misty now because now I miss it. So
Misty, or you're just moist? There's a difference.
I'm misty. It's
Okay.
I've got a little weepy eye from remembering all the things BlizzCon.
Yeah, I've got that too, except I think it's an infection.
Right. And so with that, I will play this music, and we will talk about what's coming up so that this can get her rest. It's very important to get your rest these days.
Or beauty sleep.
Just to make sure she recovers.
Like she needs it.
Just to make sure she goes. By the way, thanks, guys. Really do appreciate you guys helping out tonight. Shark, what's going on with you? What's going on with Merely a Setback? All that kind of good stuff.
Oh, lots of great things. We just posted Merely a Setback episode 41. We're trudging along, going to get to episode 50 and maybe have a special episode. Who knows? We don't have any
Nice.
plans yet, but, we're doing that still every Monday night at 9 Eastern. This past couple weeks have been weird because of BlizzCon and whatever. But yeah, check us out at Setback Podcast on Twitter. Twitch.tv/Setback Podcast. We're the bestest. We love you. Come listen to it. Bye.
All right. And Thyst, other than a little bit of R&R, which you so desperately need, what's going on with you and lagging balls and stuff?
I don't know. I've been out of the game for like 2 weeks.
I know.
But we'll be back as soon as I'm able to speak at length and scream as I do on my show. But in the meantime, you can find all sorts of awesome, crazy stuff at laggingballs.com. Join our Discord and find me on Twitter at Thyst03.
She promises to be more animated when she doesn't have to talk right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you could be more enthusiastic with exclamation points.
Yes.
Right?
And memes. Absolutely.
And memes. Of course, memes. So I'm going to bail out of that, and I'm going to hit this button right there. And this is where I talk about the show. By the way, if you want to hit me up on socials, Pat Krane with a K is usually the way to do it. And you could also join in on the conversation with CTR anytime. Join the Bazooba Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com. That's where we have all of the things. We have our show stuff. We have our audios and videos all over there. We have guild stuff, swag store, and more. Plus, we also have the Convert to Raid podcast network that features the shows from these two guys right here and all of the regulars on CTR. Whether it's Battlenet News or Battlenet Sports, all that kind of stuff, it's all good. It's all good. Just go over to converttoraid.com. That's what you do. That's what you do. And that is going to be it for the show. Thyst, thank you very much for braving the elements to come and join our show tonight. And
I'm not afraid of your hot air, Patrick.
And Shark, I'm glad that you're not close. I'm glad that you're over on the other coast right now. Just while you're sick. Just while you're sick. Just while you're sick. Yeah, but I do miss you. And Shark,
I'm always sick.
Well, it's a good thing you're on the other coast too. So Shark, thank you as well. Twitch chat, thank you guys. It's so nice to see you again after a few weeks of being off or being away. And thank you, no matter where you're listening to us, whether you're in your car or at home or whatever. Thank you guys for picking us up as always. And we will see you next time, which should be next week. That's the way this stuff usually goes. But for Thyst and for Shark and for all the guys at CTR, we'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Gizmo's here.
Gizmo's here.
I love
Gizmo! Gizmo!
Just got home. I ruined it.
Yep, you ruined it. You're fine.
Pat sent me the cutest picture of Gizmo sleeping. He's so cute when he's sleeping.
I should try to find that, actually.
I have it. It's in my wallpaper.
It's on your wallpaper?
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
He's
wild.
just so cute. He's like a little, I don't know, a little spring lamb in the...
He is.
I don't know.
He is a spring lamb. That's what he is.
Oh, baby.
It's
so cute. And Pat's watching him sleep and taking photos of him.
Well, you know,
sending those photos to me, and then I'm putting them on Instagram.
It was pretty cute. Not gonna lie. It's got to be. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got it now. Oop. Here, I'll see if I can. There we go.
Aww.
There's Gizmo sleeping.
Isn't
he the cutest little bug? Oh, what a cute guy. All right. Oh, he's so cute.
He's so cute.
Nothing weird about that. Nope.
And Gizmo never comes back.
And he's out. And that was the last time we saw Gizmo around this show. No, he's still doing the other things. That stuff is still going on. He's just kind of avoiding this show for some reason. I don't know why.